What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Chemical Guys Detail Garage. Today we are back with this Tesla that we've already detailed. Today we are going over the interior. Now the interior is not too rough of in a shape. So today I'm gonna show you guys some tips, tricks, and techniques for you guys to detail your interior and get it looking as great as new. If you guys seen our last video, you guys would know that this Tesla is a leased vehicle and we've already done the exterior. However, now today we are doing the interior. So first things first, we removed the owner's belongings, we put them in a bag, we moved out anything that we can. That way it's not in the way of us detailing this ride. Now the next thing I like to do is to remove all the floor mats. Get those things out the way so that you can actually work on the carpet of the vehicle as well as the floor mats, and you can address them at a separate time. So after I remove the floor mats, the next step in this process is vacuuming. Now the reason we vacuum first is because we want to make sure that we remove as much as the loose dirt and debris from the carpets and the seats as we can. Now, one thing about vacuuming is that you're not just gonna do it once and be done with it. You're actually gonna do it at the end as well. So it's not like one of those things where you just kind of do it and it's out the way. You know, when you vacuum it once, get rid of like the heavy things, and then at the end of your detail, you're most likely gonna have, you know, contaminants that leak out of the cracks and crevices from the areas that you clean. So it's always a great thing to just give it a vacuum at the end, just to give it a final clean. Now the next step, I actually pulled out my trunk organizer bag. Now if you guys don't have a trunk organizer bag, you guys need one because this thing has a ton of space for all your Chemical Guys products. So I'll go ahead and lift it up right here for you guys. Looks great, have my 3 little brushes sticking out in front, and it also has a ton of space on the inside to hold all of your detailing chemicals that you're gonna need in order to detail your ride inside and out. So the first product I pulled out of my trunk organizer bag is my Total Interior Cleaner and Protectant. Now, Total Interior is great because it's an all-in-one product, so you can use it on virtually all of your interior surfaces to remove light layers of dust, debris, fingerprints, body oils. So it's the perfect all-in-one cleaner just to kind of maintain your interior. So right here, you'll see me using Total Interior to clean a variety of interior surfaces, including the dashboard, the door panel, the steering wheel, and you can also use it on navigation screens. And the cool thing about Teslas is that they have a dedicated screen cleaning mode. So right here, you'll see me actually turning it on. It actually blacks out the screen so that you can see all the fingerprints and grime that's on the screen. And it also disables the touchscreen to prevent your screen from spazzing out while you're trying to clean it. And one thing about that Total Interior that we just finished using is that you can actually use it on leather as well. However, when you want to give it a deeper level of clean, that's when a dedicated cleaner like leather cleaner comes into play. Tesla manufactures their vehicle with vegan leather, which is just another fancy word for synthetic man-made leather. So the great thing about it is that you can still use all of your favorite Chemical Guys leather cleaning products. Before I start cleaning the leather, I also do want to make sure that I clean the leather seats and vacuum them so that I get any kind of debris from out of the cracks and crevices of the seats. Now, one quick tip that I have for you guys is that whenever you are vacuuming leather, since the material is so sensitive, especially on this vegan leather that's kind of like a smooth, matte kind of look, you're gonna notice scratches very easily. So the last thing that you wanna do is just grind your head of your vacuum against it and scratch it all up. So one tip for you guys is I like to put my finger at the base of the nozzle of the vacuum, and that's gonna help me kind of create a border so that I do not ever touch the tip of the vacuum onto the leather. This will ultimately prevent the chance of you scuffing your leather. So just by hovering it, you pick up any kind of loose dirt and debris. And at worst case scenario, if you have some more stubborn debris, you can always grab a dry detailing brush and just kind of give it a light little scrub to get that stuff out. So now to clean the leather. So right here we have our leather cleaner, and we also have it paired with one of our horsehair brushes. Now the reason I like using the horsehair brush is because it's broad and it has a nice little ergonomic handle that you can grab by hand, so you can spray your cleaner directly onto your brush and just start scrubbing away and breaking down embedded dirt and body oils within the leather. And another quick tip for you guys out there that have perforated leather, spray the cleaner directly into the brush as opposed to spraying the cleaner directly onto the material, because you don't want the liquid to get into the holes. Spray it into the brush, start scrubbing, you won't have that problem. Whenever you spray your leather cleaner into your brush, I would recommend spraying about 5 to 6 sprays just to make sure that the brush has enough product on there. And then as soon as you start scrubbing onto the surface, it's gonna start foaming up the product and give you that nice foaming action so that you uplift that heavy dirt and buildup that's on the leather. And just like that, with the little scrubby dub, you clean up your leather and it's nice and looking the way it should be. Now at this point of the process, you can actually choose to apply a conditioner, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do here. Now the conditioner is gonna restore the soft and supple feel to the material. You know, even though it's not leather, it's still gonna work on this synthetic material. So you can apply a coated leather conditioner, it's gonna restore the soft, supple feel, and it's gonna nourish it with the fresh new look. Apply a few drops onto a microfiber applicator, and I like to work it in by finger just to kind of spread out the product onto the microfiber strands, and this just helps prevent a heavy buildup on one section of the leather. So then this way you distribute it throughout the applicator and get an even coat on your entire leather surface. Now, one thing I know you guys may be saying right now as you're watching this clip is that as I'm applying the leather conditioner, it's going on extremely shiny. A lot of you guys out there I know do not like the extremely shiny leather look. Do not worry, whenever you apply leather conditioner, as soon as you apply it, obviously it's gonna go on very shiny because it's a liquid going onto a very dry surface. However, once it starts penetrating and absorbing into the leather, it actually leaves behind more of a satin kind of sheen. So it's not gonna leave behind a super oily, greasy look. It's gonna leave a nice satin look and a fully dry to the touch feel. Next on the list, we have the floor mats and the carpet of the vehicle. Now, the easiest way to clean something like this that doesn't necessarily look super dirty or have heavy stains is giving it a general maintenance clean. And what I mean by that is by using our Fabric Clean shampoo diluted to a 20:1 ratio. Now, this 20:1 ratio is great for general purpose cleaning. So it's not a super aggressive clean. It actually gives you more of a very light, mild clean, which is great for just wiping down light dust, debris, surface contaminants that are sitting on the surface of your floor mats. So if it's not super embedded within the finish, you can literally just spray a nice fine coat of Fabric Clean onto the material, and then I like to just give it a very light scrub with one of our nifty bristle brushes, and this just helps kind of knock off any kind of dirt and debris that's trapped within the fabric. And then simply grab a microfiber towel, wipe that down to pick up the excess cleaner and to pick up the grime that it's uplifted. And the great thing about Fabric Clean is that it's a citrus-based product, so not only does it do an incredible job at cleaning, but it also helps neutralize any kind of odor bacteria caught within the material, and it also gives you that nice, refreshing, clean smell. Moving forward with the final touches for the interior, you cannot forget about cleaning your glass. So the product I'm going to use to clean the glass is going to be our streak-free glass cleaner. Now, streak-free is going to uplift any kind of dirt, grime, films, body oils, fingerprints that are caught on the glass surface, and give you the ultimate crystal clear clarity. I highly recommend that you use it with 2 waffle weave towels. That way you achieve the best possible clean. So the idea behind this is you spray the cleaner onto the surface, or if you want to, you can also spray directly into one of your waffle weave towels. Give it a quick little wipe down. I like to kind of go over it twice. And after you've wiped it down, I like to have a secondary waffle weave towel that's completely dry, just to pick up any excess that may be on the surface and to pick up any kind of leftover grime. So once you've cleaned all of your interior surfaces with total interior or nonsense, depending on the level of filth, you can top it off with the dressing for even more shine and protection. Now, total interior and nonsense, they're designed to leave behind a completely matte finish. However, if you're the type of person that loves the shine on the interior, then you can follow it up with some silk shine. And silk shine is great because it gives you a silky look. So it gives you a nice satin-like sheen, not a super wet look, not a dry look, just a nice in-between that leaves behind a completely dry to the touch finish to give your car that fresh, brand new car look. It's not just for looks. It's not just so that your interior looks good. It actually does have a purpose, and that is to add a layer of UV protection. If you live in an area that's extremely hot, or maybe you just want protection for your interior, top it off with a coat of silk shine to give it that nice little layer of UV protection, and all of your interior plastics, vinyl, and rubber surfaces are going to be shielded against those harsh UV rays. And it's a water-based dressing, so you can use it on interior and exterior surfaces. To conclude this detail, we're gonna hit up the interior with some new car smell. Now, what better way to conclude this detail? The next person is gonna definitely appreciate it. It's gonna have that new car smell, and it's gonna be new for them. And one last thing before we leave, if you guys enjoy this hat that I'm wearing, this stylish hat that I've been wearing all throughout this video, you can pick up our all-new Chemicalguys Snap It Back Camo Script hat, now available on our website, chemicalguys.com, or at your local Detail Garage store location. All right, guys, and that wraps it up. My name is Joey. This is Chemicalguys Detail Garage. I will see you guys next time.